So after these very intelligent and interesting discussions with quite a few people, after these conversations with people in the comments about how aim assist works and what else I should have been testing, that is what I'll be demonstrating in this video. If you haven't seen the last video, I'll put a card on screen if you want to see everything, how in depth I went with it. I did cover a lot of information about it if you want more information, but the gist of it was that there was a gravitation effect when you move left and right on an enemy, and even when aimed in, it happens, and then there's an aim slowdown. As you can tell, I'm keeping my right joystick at the same speed, then it just slows down slightly, and that there is no ADS spam in this game at all. And we tested this both on Xbox and PC with the controller. But I did not test visually with smoke on how this works. As you can see, there's no aim assist, there's no gravitation, there's no ADS spam or any of that. Just none of that. There's no aim slowdown. It's just all raw stuff. But once the health bar pops back up, even though the smoke is still there, aim assist is taking place, even when the smoke was just dissipating there and it was still visually seen. In my opinion, that should be fixed and that should be different. And as you saw right there with these little signs going down and whatnot, someone said not to do this in firing range, but if I did this online, I got in the same match with someone, I had to kill him a bunch of times to get perfect results and whatnot. It'd basically be teaming and boosting, and that's against the rules under cheating, so I don't want to get my account banned, so we're just going to do it back there with this caustic right here. Now, as you saw right there, aim assist does not work in smoke, as it doesn't work in caustic gas. So right here, the caustic gas completely hides our subject, and there is no aim assist taking place, no gravitation. I don't even know where our subject is right now. Probably, well, right around here probably, but you cannot tell at all. Now you can see him slightly, but once that bar comes back, that person, that mannequin, that target, that enemy, aim assist does pop back on and kind of locks onto them with that little gravitation effect that pulls you towards them. And this does also work while aiming in. So what I did not test this on was an actual person other than a mannequin, because people said, oh, things in firing range aren't the same, which as you saw there, these little targets went down beforehand by them. Very perfect example, great example. They just go down by themselves, and people said, oh, it could be affecting the mannequins too. So we're gonna go way back there, so none of that actually happens. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you how this works on a actual player. When we move left and right here, the gravitation does take place when the aim slowdown is existent, and there is no ADS span. But something very interesting, when you're on their center of mass, not directly, the center of mass is right here on my screen in my crosshairs, but when you aim kind of low or off of it, it pulls you up towards their torso area. If you're aiming too high, sometimes it's a little too high, but it'll also do the same. Or to the right a little bit too much, it does pull you in. So like right now, if you line it up on the screen, as you can see at the very bottom, I'm aiming kind of at the groin area. It pulls me back up to the top. And that's really interesting because that did not at all take place on any of the mannequin targets that we did over there. So kudos for everyone telling me to do this on a real player. So there is a threshold, of course. I'm trying to find it here. That goes pretty low actually. As long as you're like, it almost seems like as long as you're aiming at their feet, or okay, so maybe we just found it. So if we move up a little bit, nope, up a little bit, there we go. So basically from their calves and up between their legs, it's gonna pull you in towards them, even off to the side. So there is a little bit of an ADS spam issue that can take place, but that's if you're aiming at the ground. If you're aiming high, it does not pull you in towards them at all, from what it seems. As you can see right here, if I'm going to aim at the head, it doesn't pull me anywhere. I'm not at all moving the right joystick, only to adjust, and then I aim in, aim in, aim in. Doesn't do that. Only when I'm aiming low, it pulls me towards the target. Aiming between their legs and off to the side slightly, it will bring them up to their belly torso area. There is a threshold. It seems to be very small, but most of the time, most people aren't going to be aiming down low at the legs. It's going to be torso, but still, this can become an issue. So as our subject moves side to side, I'm going to audibly put down my fucking controller so no one complains about this. You hear this? It's down on the ground. My hands are here clapping. As our test subject moves left and right, we can see that there is no pull towards the enemy target. There's no pull, there's no gravitation, there's nothing. Now, when I start to aim in, we could see nothing either. If we were to time it correctly and we're aiming low, we can see that there is that little gravitation. I'm not moving the right joystick. I'm not moving any joysticks at all. I'm just aiming in with the LT button on right here on the screen that's flashing. If we're able to time it, it does pull us up towards the torso. And there and right there, you can see that there is going to be a little bit of gravitation when ADSing onto targets. And it isn't until we start moving either joystick. You can see right here, I'm moving my joystick, my right joystick here. I'm gonna, right here, that's moving left and right. You could see that I'm just slightly moving it to the right on the screen. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's super weird, but it pulls, it's trying to pull me towards the target as much as possible. I'm barely moving the right joystick. And the same applies to when I move the left joystick. So it does pull me towards the target. I'm just gonna walk right, it's pulling me. I'm not moving the right joystick at all, as you can tell. I'm only moving the left joystick. The right joystick is not moving at all. So it is kind of gravitating and locking on to the enemy target. And this is exactly what I thought happened when I did last video down there on the stationary mannequin, red targets over there. But people didn't understand my explanation enough, so here we are doing it again on an actual moving person. So if we do smoke the person though, we can see that if they move side to side here, and as you can see, there's no gravitation, there's no aim slowdown inside here, but it isn't until the smoke starts to dissipate, like right now, that there is that little lock on. The same goes for the caustic gas. We can see that there is no gravitation, there's nothing, there's no aim lock on. I'm just gonna stand here, there's no aim lock on. You can barely see the little outline of this person here, but once it starts to dissipate, like right now, there's this gravitation effect, and it can be a problem, and I can see why people complain about it. So there's our person. As you can see, there is a slight aim slowdown. It's so slight because that region gets smaller and smaller all the way over there. It's very slight. And then of course with the sniper, it's a little bit bigger because we're zoomed in, but it's still smaller than where we were up close. And then we do have a bit of a little gravitation effect. And from this range, it seems that we do not have that gravitation effect when we move left and right, but when we're aiming in, we do have it, which is something pretty interesting. Same thing applies with the sniper, but you're moving so slow, it's kind of difficult to really see how it gravitates towards the person. And if the person starts to move side to side, you can see the same thing. It does not follow until we start following. I'm not moving the right joystick at all. It follows them. As you can see, when we move the right joystick ever so slightly, our look joystick, it does follow them slightly. And as you can see through the caustic gas, you can barely see the outline of the person moving, but when you're not ADS you can, but there is no gravitation until that caustic gas starts to dissipate, which will be very soon. Right now, you can see it. So that is an in-depth way of how aim assist works in Apex Legends. I hope this video does help prove your points, or maybe disprove some of your points, or disprove others' points that some people had. I'm sorry that I didn't do this at first with a person. I didn't think it mattered, but obviously, as we could tell from this video, it does matter a lot. And if you want to talk about it, discuss it in the comments, feel free to do so. But if you're going to be a dick to other people, your comment will get deleted. Thank you so much for watching the video. If it helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure to drop a like, a comment down below discussing the subject at hand. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more awesome videos just like this, because I've been Instant Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace!